Have you ever wondered why, despite eating healthily and getting enough nutrition, your legs still feel weaker? Why do the stairs seem steeper? Why does it take longer to get up from a chair now? Many of us think it's just a natural sign of aging, but the truth might surprise you. The problem isn't always in the things you don't do. Sometimes, those seemingly healthy eating habits can quietly harm your health. Most seniors over 65 are making a silent mistake every day. They do it with the absolute belief that it is the right choice because throughout their lives, they have been taught that fruit is a healthy, natural, and good food for health. Most types of fruit are indeed very nutritious, but there is a little-known truth. Not all fruits are suitable for seniors. Mary, 72 years old from Florida, shared, "I have always been proud of my diet with plenty of fresh fruit every day. But for the past 2 years, my knees have been aching, and I didn't understand why until the doctor pointed out that some of the fruits I eat daily are exacerbating my arthritis." Mary's story is not uncommon. In fact, some types of fruit, the ones we casually consume weekly, can gradually weaken our legs, cause knee pain, exacerbate arthritis, and make walking more difficult. The fruits that are advertised as being beneficial for health can quietly affect your mobility, balance, and leg strength. You know, as we age, our bodies change. Blood circulation weakens, metabolism slows down, and foods that were once beneficial may start to cause harm, especially certain types of fruits. They seem harmless. They can have a pleasant, sweet taste. However, some types contain high levels of acid, sugar, and other substances that affect blood sugar levels, cause arthritis, and weaken your legs. The worst part is that the injury happens gradually, subtly, and is hard to detect until one day you feel a sharp pain in your calf, persistent thigh pain, or a strange tightness in your knee after just a short walk. In today's video, I will reveal 7 types of dangerous fruits that anyone over 60 should avoid, especially if you want to protect your feet from long-term damage and weakness. None of these are as harmless as they seem, and after knowing the truth, you will never look at your fruit basket the same way again. So if you care about your health and want to maintain stable, strong, and pain-free legs, please like, subscribe, and watch this video until the end. This could be the wake-up call your body has been waiting for. A type of fruit that is soft, sweet, and easy to digest. It is called a wonderful food that helps boost muscle strength, famous for its potassium replenishing ability. Many seniors, especially those over 60, consider it a close companion every day. However, it can deceive you. Let's discuss bananas, the muscle impersonator. Bananas are a healthy and natural fruit. It is also said to provide energy after exercising and prevent cramps. However, the situation is different for seniors. Did you know that natural sugars and fast-digesting carbohydrates are abundant in bananas? This means that after you eat, your blood sugar levels will rise. Your body starts to respond by becoming insulin-resistant if it happens frequently. Then, blood circulation worsens, chronic inflammation increases, and your legs will be affected. As a result, you may experience dull aches when walking or climbing stairs, heaviness in your legs after meals, and calf stiffness. Not only do bananas disrupt blood sugar levels, but they also tend to cause the body to retain more fluids, particularly dangerous if you have a history of heart disease. This can lead to mild swelling in the feet, tightness in the ankles, and joints becoming stiff and less flexible. What is concerning is that all the effects occur very quietly. There is no sudden onset of pain. You still believe that bananas are helping to increase muscle strength and reduce cramps. So you continue to eat them regularly every day. But in reality, they are gradually draining the strength of your leg muscles without you realizing it. Then one day, you realize that standing up is harder, your legs move slower, and you no longer have the confidence to walk far like before. So what do you need to do? Take a moment to revisit your familiar fruit plate. If you often feel heavy legs, have difficulty straightening your knees, or experience mild swelling in your ankles for no apparent reason, ask yourself, is banana really suitable for your body after 60? Sometimes, the very things we consider the healthiest need to be reevaluated the most carefully, because just one small banana, if it's not suitable, can create an imbalance that makes your legs cry out for help every day. Don't wait until walking becomes an obsession to realize the problem. Small changes, correct awareness, are the first steps to regaining freedom in every step you take. There's one more type of fruit that might really surprise you. A tropical fruit, soft, sweet, and rich in nutrients. For many people, it is the ideal dessert on sweltering summer days, both refreshing and good for health. But what if I told you that this familiar fruit might be linked to the nagging pains in your knees and ankles? The pains you thought were just due to aging? Yes, none other than the mango, the real sugar bomb. The truth is, mangoes might be the silent culprit, slowly sapping your leg strength every day, despite their irresistibly sweet appearance. At this point, you might wonder why mangoes, a fruit that seems healthy, could affect the health of your feet, right? The answer lies in the natural sugars within it. And I'm not talking about a little sugar, but a large enough amount of sugar to cause your blood sugar levels to spike suddenly and rapidly. If you're young, your body can handle this sugar punch quite easily. But after the age of 60, things start to change. The metabolism slows down. Insulin regulation worsens, and each time blood sugar spikes and then drops, the body generates hidden inflammation in the joints. This is particularly dangerous for weight-bearing joints, such as the knees, ankles, and hips. Especially if you have nerve problems, you may feel a burning sensation in your toes, persistent tingling, swelling around your feet in the evening, or a heady feeling spreading in your legs. Let's listen to a true story. A 79-year-old lady once shared that she always ate mangoes before going to bed because she believed they provided vitamins and improved her sleep. But before long, she started experiencing frequent leg cramps at night, a tingling sensation in her hands and feet, and a heavy feeling dragging from her ankles to her knees. Because mangoes have a light, refreshing taste and don't make you feel full like a big meal. Seniors often eat a lot without realizing it, but that very thing makes the condition worse. That light feeling is just a taste illusion. The body still has to bear a large amount of sugar, and sugar always triggers an inflammatory response. Over time, this can cause joint pain, slow movement, and make the legs unstable. Many seniors still believe that natural foods like mangoes are good, but natural does not mean safe, especially when you are dealing with poor blood circulation and aging joints. So if you are eating mangoes regularly and notice your legs getting weaker, try stopping for a few weeks and observe the change. Sometimes, just a small change can make a big difference for your health. Next, pineapple. For many years, pineapple has always been praised as a healthy fruit. Soft, sweet, juicy, and containing bromelain, an enzyme famous for its natural anti-inflammatory properties. Many seniors believe that eating a few slices of pineapple each day will help soothe their joints, reduce pain, and improve flexibility. A dessert that seems healthy, easy to eat, and brings a refreshing, light feeling, especially on hot summer days. But if you have crossed the age of 60 and your once strong legs have suddenly become heavier, slower, or achy for no apparent reason, it's time for you to stop and ask an important question. Is the type of fruit you have long believed to be good for the joints really suitable for your body at this point in time? You must be surprised to hear this. Pineapple is not as light as your taste buds might think. Besides bromelain, pineapples contain high levels of natural sugars and acids. And for seniors, this can be a silent burden. After the age of 60, the circulatory system and the body's ability to regulate insulin weaken. The sugar in pineapple can cause a sudden spike in blood sugar levels, leading to deep inflammation in joint tissues. At the same time, natural acids can exacerbate chronic inflammation, causing the knees, ankles, and hips to ache even more. Just a short walk and your legs ache, heavy as if dragging each step. When you stand up, your knees stiffen. Your ankles suddenly hurt even though you haven't moved them all day. Why? Because pineapples contain a lot of acid, and this acid is not gentle. It stimulates inflammation, especially in aging joints. If you have arthritis, it's like adding fuel to the fire, igniting a burning sensation in your ankles, knees, hips. Many people notice that after eating pineapple, their legs suddenly feel heavy. It's not clear why, but the strength just drains away, little by little. And there's more. If you're taking medications, especially blood thinners, the bromelain in pineapple can interact negatively, either weakening or intensifying the effect of your medication without warning. Because the damage isn't instant, many seniors don't suspect pineapple at all. They continue to eat it regularly, trusting it's healthy, until one day they realize their legs aren't as strong or agile as they once were. So what can you do? You don't need to hate pineapple, but you do need to listen to what your body needs, especially after 60. Not every food is right for every age. Pineapple may be wonderful for younger bodies, but for seniors with weak joints or chronic leg pain, it might quietly fuel a discomfort you no longer need to live with. Let's discuss grapes. Grapes are often considered by seniors to be a very healthy fruit, rich in antioxidants, supportive of cardiovascular health, and with a natural sweetness, making them a perfect snack. A few grapes after a meal or nibbling while watching TV seems harmless, right? However, it can deceive you. It contains a large amount of fructose, a type of sugar that your body can no longer metabolize efficiently at your age. However, the real harm doesn't hit you all at once, but drips slowly like water through stone. When you eat grapes, fructose, the type of sugar in them, is converted by the liver into uric acid. For bodies that have crossed the threshold of 60, the liver's processing ability is no longer as sharp as before, and so, uric acid silently accumulates in the joints, especially in the toes, ankles, and knees, turning these areas into hotspots of persistent pain, swelling, and constant discomfort. Even light walking becomes a challenge, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. Fructose also promotes systemic chronic inflammation, the silent enemy of flexibility. Movements become slower, pressure on the joints increases, and flexibility gradually wears away without you even realizing it. And the most concerning thing is, grapes are too easy to eat. They are small, sweet, and refreshing, enough for you to pop a few into your mouth anytime without a second thought. But just 2 or 3 cups a day, and you've inadvertently consumed a significant amount of sugar. Beneath that juicy, fresh appearance, grapes are subtly weakening your legs, bit by bit, day by day. Now you know what is hidden behind that sweetness. If you often experience joint stiffness, mild swelling, or notice your legs becoming heavier and slower, it's time to reconsider your usual snacks. And not just grapes. There are other types of fruit that look refreshing and pure, like a glass of water, but inside they operate like sugar, subtle and silent. Be careful. The strength of your legs deserves better protection. The next fruit we want to discuss is watermelon. Watermelon is cool and refreshing, but have you ever suspected that this wonderful water-retaining fruit might be silently troubling your feet? Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? Because everyone knows watermelon is mostly water, low in calories, and an ideal choice for quenching thirst. But the secret lies here. The glycemic index of watermelon is surprisingly high. This means that even though you feel like you're just loading your body with water and freshness, in reality, your blood sugar is rising very quickly, just like you just loaded a refined amount of sugar. And for the bodies of those who have crossed the age of 60, this spike in blood sugar can cause significant consequences, especially in the legs, where the blood vessels are no longer as young and flexible as they used to be. Let's continue. When blood sugar rises rapidly, the body will respond by releasing insulin. However, at our age, the body's ability to regulate insulin has diminished. The consequence is that inflammation can flare up, especially in areas where blood circulation is no longer optimal. Calves, ankles, knees. Do you see the familiar signs? The feeling of your legs being exhausted after just eating watermelon? The persistent discomfort that arises when you try to walk a bit faster? Or the strange, persistent swelling around your ankle with no clear cause? Even climbing a few simple stairs has become as burdensome as climbing mountains and crossing rivers. Watermelon has a light and refreshing appearance, but inside, it hides a trap of sweetness, quietly adding extra weight to your legs. We often tend to eat a lot of watermelon because we think we are rehydrating our bodies. One slice, then 2 slices, then 3 slices, without realizing that the sugar is accumulating rapidly, causing more stress and worsening the inflammation. What a disastrous mistake! You think you are drinking water, but in reality, your blood sugar is skyrocketing, your blood circulation is struggling, and your legs are bearing the throbbing pain. So, is watermelon helps us cool down and rehydrate, or is each sweet slice quietly eroding the comfort and flexibility of our legs? Perhaps it's time for you to seriously reconsider the watermelon slices on your plate, especially if your legs have been feeling heavier and more fatigued lately. Perhaps among us, no one is unfamiliar with the image of an orange, a symbol of vitamin C, of abundant health. From a glass of orange juice every morning, to immune-boosting drinks, or simply a few slices of orange for dessert, we still believe that we are loading our bodies with valuable nutrients. However, there is an unpleasant truth hidden behind the bright orange peel, especially for those over 60. The acid in oranges may be silently attacking your joints. It may sound surprising, but oranges contain a significant amount of citric acid. For young people, the body can easily handle this amount of acid. However, as you age, especially if you are dealing with arthritis, stiffness, or simply persistent aches, this amount of acid can become a mild irritant, but enough to make your joints feel more uncomfortable. Have you noticed that the morning stiffness in your knees seems to last longer? The persistent hip pain keeps nagging and won't go away? A heavy, uncomfortable feeling in the legs after sitting for a long time? Or is the decline in mobility and the swelling condition seemingly getting worse? We often think that it's just a sign of aging, but have you ever thought that the habit of drinking a healthy, glass of orange juice every morning could actually be one of the reasons contributing to the pain you're trying to prevent? The truth is, citric acid in oranges doesn't just stop at the stomach. It travels into your blood and has the potential to worsen the condition of already fragile joint tissues. Additionally, when citric acid combines with the natural sugars found in oranges, it can cause erratic fluctuations in blood sugar levels, and the result of this up and down is inflammation spreading throughout the body. Each step seems to become a bit heavier and more painful, as the inflammation has spread to your knees, ankles, and calves. You see, oranges may not harm young people with strong and flexible bodies, but in older adults with aging joints and slower blood circulation, these negative effects develop quietly and subtly. The hardest part is that we are still carelessly consuming oranges with a firm belief that we are loading our bodies with the best things. Because for a long time, oranges have been considered a golden fruit for health. But now, perhaps you have started to realize that sometimes what is considered good is no longer suitable for our bodies at this stage. Please share your experience with this fruit below. Finally, a fruit that is also very popular in the afternoon meals of the seniors is green apples. We often hear that green apples are a smarter choice than red apples, right? The refreshing sour taste, the appealing crunchiness, and the lower sweetness. For the elderly who are trying to reduce sugar intake in their diet, green apples seem to be an ideal snack. Light, easy on the stomach, and good for digestion. But behind that refreshing appearance lies a truth you may have never considered, until the pains and weakness start visiting more frequently. It is very likely that this type of apple is silently contributing to the difficulties you are trying to avoid. The distinctive sour taste of green apples comes from malic acid. When we are young, our bodies can easily accept and process this natural compound. But as we age, everything starts to change. The intestinal lining becomes more sensitive, the joints also become easier to react, and the body's ability to neutralize acid also declines. That means a seemingly harmless green apple can silently worsen persistent joint pain, cause uncomfortable muscle tension, and even lead to surprising cramps at night. It's unfortunate that seniors do not connect these signs with their eating habits. We often tend to blame age, the natural deterioration of the body, without realizing that the culprit might be right in the familiar fruit basket we see every day. And even though green apples are not too sweet, they still contain a certain amount of natural sugar. When we eat green apples alone, especially on an empty stomach or just before bedtime, this amount of sugar can cause small but repeated spikes in blood sugar. With a body that is already aged and insulin response also slower, these small spikes in blood sugar can lead to chronic inflammation, prolonged fatigue, and heavy legs every morning upon waking. The uncomfortable stiffness you feel when you just get out of bed, or the heavy thighs in the early afternoon, could very well be your body's silent way of protesting against a type of fruit that you still believe is making you healthier. You see, even small daily habits, if repeated over a long period, can bring unexpected consequences, especially when they involve foods we still believe to be harmless. But don't worry, because nature always bestows other wonderful gifts, fruits that not only satisfy the taste buds, but also quietly heal and promote strong, sturdy legs, reduce joint pain, and combat inflammation. Let's explore together. First of all, we cannot overlook the extraordinary power of berries. Raspberries, strawberries, blueberries. They are powerful anti-inflammatory warriors, yet gentle on blood sugar, rich in antioxidants, and contain very little sugar. Especially, They also help improve blood circulation, particularly in the legs, making movement easier, reducing joint stiffness, and alleviating uncomfortable swelling. Next up is cherries, but remember that dosage is key. A small handful of cherries can bring surprising benefits in reducing uric acid, thereby soothing gout flare-ups and persistent joint pain. They also help reduce pain and the burning sensation in the knees or toes. Just a small pinch, not even a whole bunch, is enough to make a significant difference. Don't forget avocados, a special fruit and a wonderful friend for healthy joints. Why? Because avocados contain a lot of good fats. They help reduce inflammation from within the body and create a soft cushion for your joints. Moreover, avocados also help regulate insulin, providing a steady source of energy without causing erratic fluctuations in blood sugar levels. Next, if you are looking for an easily digestible fruit, try papaya. The natural enzymes in this soft tropical fruit not only help reduce inflammation, but also support smoother digestion. Papaya is very easygoing, with aging joints and gentle on your stomach. Finally, don't overlook pears, but remember to combine them with a bit of fiber or protein. Pears offer a subtle sweetness without being too intense, providing energy to the body gently without putting extra strain on your legs. You see, instead of fighting with the body, these fruits quietly support, bringing comfort, not causing swelling, and helping your body regain the vitality, balance, and peace it has always desired. The important thing is not just to eat fruit, but to choose the types of fruit that are suitable for your age and current health condition. When you make such conscious decisions, you will start to notice a significant difference. Your steps become steadier, your movements more graceful, and each morning you wake up full of energy. The last words I want to send to you, who have patiently read to these lines. I know you are worried about the future, about your strength and health, but trust me, it's not too late for you to change. You still have time to recover, and you are not alone on this journey. Aging is a challenge, with aches, stiffness, and the fear of falls. Sometimes, you might feel like your body is gradually disappearing. But here's the truth. You can absolutely take control with small, reasonable adjustments instead of extreme measures. Each meal, each type of fruit, each small decision at a time. Even though the fruits we discussed earlier are not necessarily harmful, they may no longer be the best choice for you. And that's perfectly normal, because getting older doesn't mean giving up, but rather becoming wiser. You will notice the difference when you start eating mindfully, choosing foods that support strength, enhance blood circulation, and nourish the joints. You will feel less discomfort. Your body will be more flexible. Each morning you wake up will be lighter, and your steps will be more graceful. That is our goal, not fear or limitations. Right now, I want to hear from you. Please share what you learned today and the changes you plan to make in the comments section below. Because we grow together when we share. If you find this video helpful or it gives you a new perspective, don't hesitate to hit the like and subscribe buttons so you don't miss any other important information. Thank you for viewing. See you in the next video.